What's happening? So today we are going to check out a house on Guilford Road in Cleveland Heights, and man, this is one of my favorite little pockets of Cleveland Heights. So Guilford is in the Fairfax Triangle neighborhood in Cleveland Heights, it's called, and Guilford runs from Fairmount to Fairfax, and it sits in this little pocket, you know, the Fairfax Triangle, where not a lot of homes sell. I mean, one, there's not a ton of homes for sale, but once people get into that neighborhood or they get a house in that area, they're usually not selling it for a while. So I want to take you guys through. We'll walk the neighborhood, we'll check out some things in the surrounding area, and we'll show you why the neighborhood's so great. Let's go. Now, I realize I say this about a lot of neighborhoods in Cleveland Heights, but you know, the Fairfax Triangle and kind of where Guilford sits, and includes streets like Wellington and Stratford, it's one of those neighborhoods that you walk through and you just find yourself like, whoa, like that's a pretty sweet house. Or, you know, you're like, wow, who lives in that house? That house is sick. And so you know, there's so many homes that are unique, packed with character, these older homes built in the 1920s, 1930s, but a really cool neighborhood and cool pocket of Cleveland Heights. As we get out here, we are on the corner of Guilford and Fairfax. So Fairfax Elementary School is just right down there, and then we're gonna hit Guilford right here. But it's a pretty quiet pocket. I mean, you don't get a ton of like through traffic. Fairmount Boulevard is over there on the other end of Guilford, but pretty quiet little pocket. Like I said, you got the school there, so there are a lot of families that live in these neighborhoods, young professionals, you know, that type of thing. So great little neighborhood. And you can start to see some of the unique homes. I mean, got this nice Tudor style home behind me, and there's a lot of, like, the house for sale, there's a lot of brick colonials, and in this neighborhood you're going to notice a lot bigger size home. So we're talking 5+ bedrooms, 4+ baths, anywhere from, you know, 3,500 to 4,500 or above square feet. So a lot bigger home, which is going to obviously drive up the price point a little bit. But you can see behind me, nice big brick colonials. And then this here is the house that is currently for sale. So nice big, very stately brick colonial. This is a 6-bed, 4.5 bath, about 3,800 square foot house. It sits on a half-acre lot, so some bigger lots over here, obviously, with the bigger homes. That one was built in 1929, so everything over here, like I said, is between 1920 and 1930s area, and that one is listed for $925. So still on the market, been on the market a few days. And this is what, you know, like the next door neighbor's house, very different, unique. Got a cool little front walkway area there, and I love a lot of these sit back away from the street. So you got these nice long walkways up to the house, which is cool. This one is one of my favorites too. It reminds me of a house that should be like on a lake. This one here, nice long driveway. As far as prices go, so this area, this pocket, is going to be on the higher end for Cleveland Heights as a whole. Like I said, that the house that's for sale right now in Guilford is listed at $925, which I think is a pretty reasonable price. Granted, you know, hasn't gone under contract yet, but you're going to find homes, I mean, above $500,000 all the way up to, you know, 1.1, 1.2 if you get over to the Fairmount area. So definitely a higher price point for Cleveland Heights. And I feel like one of the positive stereotypes about Cleveland Heights are these like beautiful tree-lined streets. Like this right here just reminds me that you have these huge trees that line the road here, which is cool to walk down. Especially, actually just cleaned the street, so it's like perfect out today. They got all the leaves up and everything finally. This house right here is also really cool, brick house. So like so many homes, like I said, you walk by them and they're almost like stunning. You're like, they're picturesque, you know. They're really beautiful houses all up and down the street. A lot of kids and families, so they got the soccer net or whatever that is out, so you know there's a ton of families and kids in the neighborhood. As far as schools go, so you're walking distance to Fairfax Elementary, which is just down around the corner. Beaumont is also, it's a private all girls high school, is within walking distance just up Fairmount. Roughing Montessori, obviously, then Cleveland Heights High School is not far down the road. So there's a lot of options right here. You know, HB is just up the road. So in this little pocket, you can easily get to another nice looking house. You can easily get to a lot of different school options if you do have kids and you live in the neighborhood. And then in terms of what's nearby, what's close by the neighborhood, so walking distance, you're walking distance to Lee Road, which it's got restaurants and coffee shops, those type of things over there. You can also walk to Shaker Lakes easily. So Shaker Lakes Nature Center, but then there's also walking paths and those type of things over there, which is great. You're not far from a little section on Fairmount, you know, where like Gigi's, which is a restaurant, and they got good cocktails and those type of things. On the Rise Bakery is over there as well. So you're really close on foot. Exercise if you want to get out and walk some paths or grab a coffee or a pastry or those type of things. So really great area to be. Just in a few minutes, I mean, I walked the entire street, so now I'm on Fairmount. This is Fairmount Boulevard behind me. So like I said, Guilford runs from Fairfax to Fairmount, and there's not a ton of homes on the street. So another reason why there aren't a lot of sales, and if something does come up on the market and you're interested in this neighborhood, you should go check it out, because it'll likely go quick, just because there's not a lot that ever sells over here. Here's another cool little house. So it's this brick house behind me. You got this unique like little side porch, nice wood front door, slate roof. I always love the brick with the slate roof look. Same with that house there. It's got the brick and the slate roof behind it. House, it's like every house is cool. There's like not a house that isn't cool. This one here behind me. Now, not all the homes are brick either. So this house that sits on the corner of Guilford and Monmouth, right here behind me, is really cool. So it's got the old Spanish style clay roof, which is nice, and it sits on the corner lot, and they've got like a wraparound driveway that is on the Monmouth side, and part of the house is on the Guilford side as well. And you've also got like stucco style home. This house is impressive. Nice. So as I get to the end of Guilford here, back over towards Fairfax, I think for me personally, like obviously the location, walkability, you can get to a lot of things easily, is key about the neighborhood and why I like it the most. But I think what sets it apart for me is just the type of home. There's so many really cool, unique houses, and like I said, now they don't go up for sale very often, for a reason. You know, people get in them and they tend to stay in them. So for me, that's what I like most is the architecture, the uniqueness to every home on the street, and a nice quiet neighborhood, but at the same time, a lot of families, a lot of kids, a lot of community. All right, now I do want to hop back in the Jeep and just take you up and down. We'll go up like Wellington, Stratford, some of these surrounding streets to show you the neighborhood a little bit, and then also just a few things close by Guilford that may be worth seeing. Alrighty, a little pro insider tip. So as we drive down Lee Road, which is filled with a lot of great, little restaurants, coffee shops, those type of things, great spot. The nearest CVS pharmacy. So if you frequently need to go to CVS for prescriptions or whatever it may be, just to give you a heads up, the CVS on the corner of Cedar and Lee, great staff. I love the pharmacists there, the staff. They're all super nice to me. That parking lot is one of the worst in Cleveland Heights. It is always packed because people will park in there and they'll go to like shops or things that they shouldn't be. It's just for CVS, and it's like the Wild West. People parking wherever, people not watching where they're backing up. I just turned around in there. Somebody's parked not in a spot that I almost rear-ended, and another person's parked across 2 spots. I'm like, what is happening out here? And it's always like that. That parking lot is crazy, and the Whole Foods parking lot over on Cedar also. Wild parking lots. Just to give you a heads up if you're moving to this area. We just passed On the Rise Bakery on Fairmount, and great spot. They're real legit. So a couple things about that. Number one of my morning run routes goes down Shelburne, which it runs parallel with Fairmount, where On the Rise is. The time that I run by in the morning, you can smell them baking that fresh bread. I'm like, my God, that smells good. I also just recently, this past year, went to some baking Olympics in France, and they won an award. So they're real legit. So if you're looking for a good bakery, I've had everything from their sourdough to their croissants to their scones. Our boys like their scones a lot, or their chocolate filled croissants. They got good espresso in there if you're into that kind of thing. So check out On the Rise Bakery. They're legit, just down the road. If you're looking to live on Guilford, if you're in the Fairfax Triangle area or any of those surrounding streets in Cleveland Heights, you're in a really good spot. So hope you enjoyed today's video. We'll be back next week with another neighborhood. If you want me to highlight a neighborhood or a street that you guys love in Cleveland Heights, comment, let me know. I'm happy to run through it. I love the Heights. I love sharing the Heights. And so let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next week. Peace.